Hey, I'm Eddie. I'm from Long Island Boaters Club, and I'm standing here by my boat, and I'm getting it ready for the season this year. And there's a couple of spring things that you have to do to maintain your boat, to have it in a proper shape for going on the water. One of the things that we're going to discuss is the zincs and changing the zincs, which isn't really that hard of a job. Once you do it once, it's not a problem, and I'm going to show you just how to do that. What I start with is the Mercruiser parts, because it comes with all the things you need, including bolts that also have the lock on it, so they're not going to fall off while you're using it, so you need to change them. And you can see right here from the ones from last year how much wears on it that's taken off, and the new ones that we're going to be putting on. On my boat, I have Bravo 3s. I got twins, as you can see. Both of them are the same, and we're going to change the zincs on both of them. There's a couple simple tools you need. Some sockets. They're all millimeters. I use a 1/4 inch. It's easier to get into spots. One of the first ones that I want to show you how to change is going to be the back one. That's probably the most difficult one because you actually have to trim the motors all the way up to get in there with the socket and change it. So we're going to have to squeeze down here and come on over here. There's the bolt. This is the zinc, and the socket's going to fit right over. There is two bolts, one here and one right above it over here. And we're going to have to loosen them totally out in order to get the zinc off. Now, working from this angle, I'm loosening up the bolts. Like I said, this is probably the most difficult one. You have to kind of reach in and get them. And there's no real trick to this. It's going to take a little time with the ratchet because you can't really turn it by hand. You can try, and sometimes you'll get it. Now I'm removing the last bolt. I'm shaking it down. There's a little bit of debris in here, so I just clean it off with my hand, make it nice. This is all going to be power washed before I paint the bottom, even though the zincs are already on. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is get the new zinc, and I'll start installing that. So I'll do it. All right. Set that zinc up. Make sure nothing's under it. Hand tight is fine. There's no torque spec on it, but you want to make sure it's tight and it doesn't fall off. It's only a 1/4 inch ratchet. You could get vibration from the engine throughout the year. That will loosen the nut. That's why you always use the lock washers to keep it locked in. Okay, so that's your first zinc. Okay, this next one's really easy. It's in the front of the motor. So right on the props to protect the inside of the props and the outside of the props, as well as these two up here. And this one's just a 13 millimeter. Those backs were 14. Middle. Okay. There's a hexagon to cover the bolt to take the props off. So you gotta just line that up right. It's just another really easy thing. Gotta hold the blade. And tighten it up. And you're all good. Okay. So now the next two we're gonna do is gonna be up on the top over here. It's kind of hard to get in it like this, so I'm gonna go in the boat and I'm gonna kick this drive down so it's easier to get to. Now, I got a long extension. This is gonna make my life easier. Taking these two off. It's an 8 millimeter. Put it on the extension like that, and just gotta loosen them up. Now it's sticking out further, so I can screw it without messing it up. There you go. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, you don't think it's tight enough, you can grab a shorter extension, put it on there. Okay. That's on there nice and sturdy. And now I'll go to the other side and repeat the same process that we just did over there, but loosening them up again. Okay, the last things to be changed now is our two bottom ones down on the bottom over here, which are usually located right here. I already took them off of this drive. So the first one we're going to take is the back one. and it's located under this little plunger. All you got to do is lift it up like that, and it's inside of there. It's very difficult to see. We tried to light up a shot for you. And this is a 13 millimeter again. So you need a long extension with the 13 millimeter, and you're going to put it down in there. 1/4 inch is fine. Once again, it's enough, should be enough to take it off. If you're still having problems taking it off, then you're going to need a larger socket ratchet wrench for more leverage. And once the bolt's totally loose, you got it off. Okay. The hardest part to this is actually getting the bolt out. I got this little grabber tool, see? And this is going to be stuck inside of there, and I'm going to try to grab the bolt. It's hard because you can't see. There's the bolt. And the reason why, if this falls off, it's going to hit the props. So you don't want to do that. And you can see it has the lock glue on it. That's what Merc gives you already, or you can purchase it and put it on as well. And you can see how it was locked into the other one. There was a little more pressure it took to take it off. Pretty much drop it in, lift that up, and the bolt's back in there. There's 2 for the bottom. You can see this one doesn't have a thread to it. That's the front one because the bolt's on the bottom over here. And you can see the back one. That's the one. You can see how much it wore out. That's protecting your prop from any growth. And you can see the screw pattern in that one. So that's the one that goes on the bottom. Look at this side. There's 2 indents. It's going to slide in this way so it stays up there and it doesn't spin. I'm going to take this. Get the indent, put that right there, get my 13 mil. Put the cap back on so no water gets in there. If water does get in there, there's a little vent right there and the water will get out of there. So, alright, now the last one we have to do is on the bottom. It's our last one. It's a 13 millimeter with no extension. Right on the bottom, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay, there it is. There's no lock washer on this one, that's why I couldn't find it. And you can see how much that wore. Protecting the engine once again. Put this in there like that. Pop that right in there. Tighten that up, and you're all done. All the zincs are changed. You just save yourself a couple $100 doing this yourself. If you have 2 engines like myself, you just repeat the process once again, and you'll get it all done. So you guys are now on board with Long Island Boaters Club. I'm Eddie. Steve's got the camera. He hasn't said a word, but soon he will.
LIBoatersClub.com.
LIBoatersClub.com. You got it right. Come on, come aboard. We're going to have more things to show you. Next thing I'm going to be doing is changing the gear oil. I'm going to show you how to do that, lube the back of the drives. Then I'll go on to the engine with changing the oils and the filters. And then I'll go on to painting the bottom of the boat. I'll take you all the way to when the boat's going to be put into the water. And you can see me crash into everything when I'm driving it. So I'll see you on the water. Look out. You're on board.